Hey, my name is Nat, still, and today we're standing at a Patriarch's Bridge, which was constructed not so long time ago, and it's a pedestrian bridge, as you can see, people walking here, and today we'll turn around the bridge because from this bridge we have a really great view to many places, important places in Moscow. But we'll firstly start with this one called Cathedral of Christ the Savior, the biggest Orthodox church in Russia and the main church in Russia, the main Orthodox church in Russia. So the story of the Cathedral of Christ the Savior is a bit crazy, and I normally think that if you want to understand the Russian mentality, you need to know the story of the cathedral, because it's like as controversial as it can be. It all started in the 19th century, when after the war with Napoleon they wanted to construct a big monument to commemorate this victory in this war. We're talking about the War of 1812. And they started to construct the cathedral here, and it took them 44 years to construct it. And then after this time when it was finally constructed, it was here for something like 48 years, and after that it was the Soviet time already. It was 1930s. During Soviet time, you know that they were destroying lots of churches, and they decided to destroy this one, the main Orthodox church, as a symbol of Orthodox. They wanted communism to be a new religion. So there were two explosions, and we look at this one. It's quite big. Actually, it's 103 meters, so it's a tall, very tall building. But at the place of this one, they wanted to construct, and they started the construction of so-called Palace of Soviets, which is supposed to be, attention, 300 meters tall, with 100 meter statue of Lenin at its peak. So Lenin is supposed to be, if you compare it with the Statue of Freedom, it's slightly bigger. And in the head of Lenin, which is supposed to be 5 meters tall, they supposed to have a library. Boom! So this plan, we have blueprints of this building. They started the construction of this Palace of Soviets, enormous building. But then the Second World War happened. And of course they stopped the constructions during the Second World War. After the Second World War, Nikita Khrushchev, he was maybe not as ambitious as Stalin was, but they decided to use the base for this massive building, because the base was there. And they have decided to construct an open-air swimming pool, of course, evident. So they've constructed an open-air swimming pool, which was right here for many years. All the Muscovites of the age of my parents, they remember it, they swim there. I meet lots of people who were swimming there, and they remember it. It was a swimming pool called Moscow. The temperature, as I said, it was open air, so the temperature was plus 27 all year round. And you can imagine, when it was minus 20, minus 30, and the temperature of water was plus 27, there was a lot of steam everywhere. There is a Pushkin Fine Arts Museum nearby, and of course for the collection where we have works of, great masters, and we have a great Impressionist collection, and not only Impressionists, it was not very good, this steam. So finally in 1994 they decided to reconstruct the cathedral. So in 2000 this one was consecrated. It's a brand new cathedral, as you can see, but it was consecrated, or it was constructed and reconstructed according to the previous blueprints of the 19th century. So this one is an exact copy of the previous one. The only thing that is different, that's materials. They use different materials for the domes and for sculptures at the facade, and also this one has a big underground complex under the cathedral. Okay, one more important thing happened here in 2012 when a Russian art punk band called Pussy Riot performed in the cathedral, and it was quite controversial because the song was called "The Holy Virgin Sent Putin Away," which was a scandal, of course, in the Russian patriarchal society, and 2 girls were sent to prison after that, which was horrible, of course. And it was in the media everywhere, not only in Russia, but everywhere in the world, so it was quite a news. Now we'll turn around traditionally, and you'll be able to see what can be seen from the bridge. The first thing that we'll see is the Moscow Kremlin, the main fortress of Moscow, dating back to the 15th century. You can see this red walls and towers behind me. One more building you can see here dating back to 1930s. It's a nice example of constructivism architecture, not only architecture but the ideas, society ideas as well, because in 1930s they believed in communal living and communal everything. They wanted all the people to live in one place and share lots of things. Like in this complex of buildings they have everything inside. There is a cinema, there is a theater, they have canteen, restaurants, kindergartens, laundries, banks, everything. People had some special tickets for food. They could have it after work. They didn't have to cook at their apartments. These plans and these ideas were not fully realized, but this building is also quite notorious and famous because lots of important high-ranking officials used to live here in 1930s, 1940s, and lots of people were also suffered from Stalin, so-called Stalin repressions in 1930s, beginning of the 40s as well. Lots of people were taken to prison, to Lubyanka, to concentration camps, so-called Gulag system. So this building is also quite notorious. But from this building we can see some more positive and optimistic place called Red October. So this Red October chocolate factory, they were producing chocolate right here, not anymore, but Russian chocolate is quite popular not only in Russia, even nowadays, especially Alenka chocolate is very popular, famous girl. That was the picture of real girl that was chosen for this chocolate. Finally, nowadays this Red October area is a hipster area with lots of art galleries, exhibition spaces, and some offices, and some nice restaurants, cafes, some institutes, and also lots of nightclubs. If you come here at Friday night at 3 a.m., you'll be stuck in huge traffic jams and you'll see lots of drunk youngsters and so on. The monument, the giant monument you can see to the right from the Red October chocolate factory, is a monument to Peter the Great. Initially it was a monument to someone else. It was a Georgian Russian architect, sculptor, who's responsible for this monument of Peter, Zurab Tsereteli. And he has made a monument of Columbus and wanted to sell it to America and to Latin America. But when they saw it, they were like, no, thank you. And what has he done? He has decided to change the head of Columbus to Peter, and here we are. This monument, 98 meters, is standing on the embankment of Moscow River. The monument to Peter the Great. Most Muscovites hate it, but it's quite expensive to destroy it, so finally he is here. We kind of got used to him actually, because even, you know, it's kind of this freaky part of a landscape that even I already like. So over there you see the Tretyakov Art Gallery, the new building of the Tretyakov Art Gallery. It has a collection of Russian modern art, so Malevich, Kandinsky, and all the others like Natalia Goncharova, all the important names in art history. All of the names are there. So the most important thing about the bridge is that the bridge is across Moscow River. Moscow River is the main river of Moscow. It's a tributary of Volga River, flows into Caspian Sea. So now we're back to the Cathedral of Christ the Savior. We're sending you beams of peace. Stay tuned, there will be some more videos. Hugs.